basketballs for every baseball fan. Check them out at unforgettables.com.
Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
It's now you're tuned in to Comets basketball on the CRN Sports Network, the online home of the Clayton Comets.
Hey, welcome back to Jeff Adams Gymnasium. The Osborne Company halftime show rolls along here at in Clayton, North Carolina. It is a 26-25 Comets lead by 1 in the opening game of the Greater News 3A Conference, along with Daniel Manzer. I'm going to let him plug in here during halftime. He did it for the women, he'll do it for the men. What are we thinking, Daniel? Is this pretty competitive game? But again, not only is it rival basketball between Clayton Comets and South Johnston that we've known for years. I graduated from Clayton. I went to South Johnston for 1 year. So I kind of have respect for both the Comets and the Trojans. But with that being said, you're not only having a rival basketball game here, you have got a conference battle. So it makes it so much more important, especially right out of the gate.
Oh yeah, the realignment of the realignment of the conferences and having us now be in the same conference where we weren't before has definitely raised the stakes in this game, if you will. And it's easy to see from the student sections. I mean, both groups have huge groups here, and it's really competitive, going back and forth, really loud. It's fun to watch. This is what high school basketball is supposed to be about. You know, a full gymnasium. It's loud. I can barely hear myself over the microphone.
Oh yeah,
that's how you know that you've got a fun action. I mean, we almost had a lead change right there at the end of the half. You know, this game's 26-25. It could easily be 28-26 after that three-pointer just bounced out. So, I mean, it's a close matchup here.
You know, Daniel, and I was going to say that. I mean, you know, I know that they're 12-1 coming in for Brody Massengill and the Trojans coming in for this game in the first game of the conference. But with rival basketball, anything's possible. And we're seeing that. I mean, there was a time that Clayton was on almost an 8-0 run before the Trojans started to come back up the court again. And now it's 26-25. Comets are leading by 1 point. And we've seen times where the Comets were coming back and the Trojans were coming back, and now vice versa.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely been one of those back-and-forth kind of games. The momentum has shifted a lot. You've heard the student sections get behind their teams, and you can tell them really going at each other. It's been pretty impressive to watch. You know, I said before the game when we were talking about the girls in the girls' half that the boys' game would come down to them really being, you know, they're 12-1, but maybe we've played even tougher schedule than they have, but it could be anybody's game, and it's really been fun to watch. You know, it's been fun to watch this game because both teams have just been so competitive, and you can tell this means a lot to these boys. Neither one of them want to start out this conference season 0-1. That's for sure.
No, and again, I have to say this honestly, and not being the radio play-by-play announcer, I don't think that the record as overall for the Comets stands for what it should be at 5-6. You know, there's been a lot of close losses that could have been wins, and just some controversial things that have happened along the way. I think of the Hunt game right here at Clayton.
We were sitting right next to each other. The Hunt game, we're like, is it over? And the refs just ran off the field.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
It was definitely crazy. I mean, yeah, it could easily be a big switch, and you're going to see that because I think these are going to be two front runners in the conference this year.
Yes.
And so this is a very important game. It sort of sets the tone for the conference. You know, you got to look at all the teams in the conference and think that these two are definitely, you know, ones that could win this conference championship and get that, you know, first-round playoff game, first-round bye kind of thing coming in. And so this is a really competitive game. It's really important.
You know, Daniel, I don't want to go off subject here, but let's recap the Lady Comets again. 80-45. Great win for Marlon Lee and the Lady Comets here. The first conference game of the year. And how about the senior, Liberty commit, Asia Todd, also this week's WREL Tom Suter Extra Effort Award winner. And what a statement for the young lady. Even though everybody got points throughout the game of like out of the 11 players, 8 players scored points, but 40-plus points for Asia Todd.
And this is the completeness of her game. Not only did she have 40 points, but she had
rebounds.
She had 10 steals, 6 rebounds. She just looked like the best player on the field. I mean, on the court, you could tell that she was a very, very composed young athlete out there tonight. There's a reason she got the WRAL Student Athlete Award, and she was definitely the player of the game for the Comets there. She played all facets of the game, whether it be defense or offense, like she was the best player on the court, and it was very nice to watch. It was impressive to watch her because she had such a hard game against Heritage on Wednesday. They really shut her down offensively, and I can't remember a time where I watched Asia not go for at least 10 points, and to get shut down for 6 points against Heritage. It was devastating. Sure, I'm sure she held her head down for a day or two, but she popped right back into it with practices, and she got 40 points here tonight.
But you know what, though? I will say this because I talked to Coach Marlon Lee after the game was over, and I asked him, I said, why would you go up against such a competitive team like a number 22 team in the nation or number 2 in the state? And Marlon Lee said, and I quote, to make these ladies better, because when it comes down to conference time and the playoffs, we got to be as best as we can be. Even though we lost with dignity and we lost with pride, and we're more better prepared for what's going to happen in the postseason.
Oh, I definitely think it'll help them down the road, too. They can remember what Heritage did, and they're going to know how hard they got to work to make that next level. Now, I know Heritage is a 4A school, and Clayton is only a 3A, so we won't see them in the playoffs or anything, thank goodness, but it was as high a level of competition as you could play. I mean, and that's what good coaching is. I know our football coach this year has scheduled Wake Forest, the 4A state champions, right off the start of the year, and that means a lot for the program to get those kind of competitive, high-end games.
Well, so far as it stands in the game, 12 points. 12 points now for number 2 of Jaquan Ross. How about Jaquan Ross? Daniel Manzer, again, public address voice of the Comets. 2 field goals, 3 layups. How about that? 12 points for Jaquan Ross, leading the game total for the Comets.
Oh, he's been definitely a spark for the Comets when he's on the field. I mean, he's got almost half their points. He's definitely played really well. I mean, he's been really good defensively. He's come away with some great steals.
Well, the crowd roars as the Trojans come back out on the court, a roaring crescendo by the away squad. So 12 points. Let's give a recap of your points here real quickly. 12 points for Jaquan Ross for the Comets. 6 points for Justin Bell. 2 points for Karsten Crumpler. 4 points for Javante Long and Cameron Walden under the boards for another 2 points. And then, of course, for South Johnston, heavy 3-point shots by number 15 of Jacob Thornton. He's got 6. 11 points for Carol Ray, and 3 and 3 for number 3 of Jaquan Smith and number 10 of David Honeycutt, and 2 points for 21 of Clayton Blackman. But very impressed again with the 3-point shots by Jaquan Ross for the Comets and Carol Ray for the Trojans.
Oh, yeah, they call Carol Ray CJ Ray, and he's definitely been playing out there today. He's been a playmaker for them. He looks really good down the paint, too.
Well, Daniel, we'll let you get back to public address duties. That is Daniel Manzer. Your halftime show is presented by the Osborne Company. We get ready for the second half next.
Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
Back here on CRN, we are set for the second half. It is 26-25. The crowd nestles in here at Jeff Adams Gymnasium behind us, the away side of the Trojans, the home side of the Comets. And it is 26-25. 26-25. Game about to get back underway. It will be South Johnston bringing the ball in possession, led by number 15 of Jacob Thornton. A 1-point lead. The Trojans are down by the Comets by 1. 26-25. 8 minutes pop up on the scoreboard for the third period. It is a 1-point game as we go into the Trojans down by 1 to the Comets. Comets again 5-6 in the year. Trojans 12-1 opening conference game. Jacob Thornton to Thomas Dees. Back inside to Honeycutt. Honeycutt goes back to Smith. Smith goes back again to Thornton. Thornton back inside to Smith. Back inside to Blackman. Under the basket. Sets it up to Carol Ray. Ray goes back to Blackman. Back to Ray again for the basket, for the layup. No one's home. Smith for 3. Oh! Jaquan Smith bounces off the rim. It's no good. Back up court comes the Comets. 7:30 in the third underway. Second half action. Justin Bell up for 3. No one's there. Rebound comes back by Crumpler. Tries to set it by Long. Take away by the Trojans to get it back. Blackman gets it back to 3 of Smith. Smith on his own under Walden. And they about have a crash demolition derby under the basket. Whistle and a foul. They're going to call one on Cameron Walden. Foul on Cameron Walden. That's his fourth. Fourth foul on Walden. And this will bring number 3, Jaquan Smith, to the line, and he will shoot 2. And he'll nail the first one. Jaquan Smith will nail his first shot at the free throw line. His second coming up for the guard senior, 5'10". Nails his second. 5 points now in the game in total now for Jaquan Smith for the Trojans. A 1-point lead. It's 27-26. Cameron Walden back to Javante Long. Cameron Walden back to Javante Long. Sets it up under the basket looking for Walden. Cameron Walden gets it up. Take away by Crumpler. They'll fight for it. Timeout. Comets will keep possession, and we got a timeout. Timeout. Comets will keep the ball. And it'll be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a timeout, too, with a word for the North Carolina High School Athletic Association on CRN.
Sportsmanship, it means a lot of things.
It means showing respect for the opposing team.
And being a good host for our visitors.
It's about modeling good behavior and not getting caught up in the emotion of the moment.
It's about winning with humility.
Losing with dignity.
It is about making my high school games
It's a good memory that I can enjoy for years to come.
Mr. Official.
Mom.
Dad, son.
Daughter. Coach.
Are we in this together?
Sportsmanship. Together we make the right call.
This message has been brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
So, again, Comets will bring it back inbounds again, led by Croston Crumpler back to Cameron Walden, and he lost the ball. Smith with a takeaway, gives it back to number 15, Jacob Thornton. Thornton with Carroll Ray with the ball now. Carroll Ray under the basket, shooting double, travel on the Trojans, give it back to the Comets. Comets back with the ball. Jaquan Ross back to Javante Long. Ross goes to Walden. Walden sets up and throws it inside to Bell. Bell to Long, they'll shoot. Nails the three. Javante Long for a field goal. Number 20, the sophomore 5'10" pointing guard. Sets it up with a three-point. Trojans back with the ball. Returning to favor Smith. Jaquan Smith with a three-point shot. Jaquan Smith, the guard senior for the Trojans, with a three-point shot. And it's good. And now we got a whistle and a foul. Foul on number 0 of Thomas Dees. And Coach Brody Massengill not happy on the sidelines. And a foul on Massengill. Give it back to the Comets. Carson Crumpler under the boards. Sets by pressure on Ray. Gets it back to Long. Long sets up for 2. Javante Long for 2. 31-30. A steal! Jaquan Ross with a steal and his own layup and a whistle, and it's good. Jaquan Ross with his first points of the second half to now make it 14 for 2. 33-30. It's a three-point game now. Here comes Blackman. Blackman sets up inside to Smith again. Smith back to Thornton. Thornton shoots for 3. Bounces off the rim. No good. Getting the rebounds. Thomas Dees of the Trojans. Trojans will keep possession. Dees will now set back up inside. He gives it to Smith. Back inside the paint. Gives it back to Ray. Ray jukes, jives under the net. No one there. Rebound comes back to the Comets. Cameron Walden back up court. No foul on Blackman as they roar up court. 5:09 in the third. Whistle. Stoppage of play. Here comes number 10, David Honeycutt, back in the game. Thomas Dees is going to take a rest. It'll be Comets ball. Here comes also 23 of Colby Norris, the Ford Jr. As Blackman will take a rest, the senior Ford. 33-30, a tight game. It is a 3-point lead the Comets have now. Cameron Walden puts it back inbound to Javante Long. Long goes back inside to Walden, back to Bell. Bell sets his way. So they go back up court. Jaquan Ross sets it back to Bell. Bell looking for Walden. No one home. Throws it up. Here comes Jaquan Ross. He'll shoot. Lays it up. No one there. 33-30. Setting it up. Here comes number 10. Oh, the Trojans with the ball. Got Thornton there. Thornton goes back inside to Blackman. Back to Smith. Back inside to Thornton. Gives it to Ray. Thornton shoots it up. He'll nail a three-pointer.